All right, we are live, and the New York Mets are dying out on a nightly basis on our TVs. Today's episode is much different than last week's episode. And luckily, through the highs of last week to the lows of this week, we have ourselves our Coors Light. Coors, we got to believe, is presented by Coors Light. When you're juggling work, family, and the busyness of summer in general, it's easy to feel you have to lose your chill. Let's add the Mets having a 5-game losing streak now onto that. So there are plenty of chances in life to make things better by choosing chill. Grab every opportunity to choose chill, then reach for a refreshing Coors Light. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. Was watching the Mets here in Chicago. We have the dozen week as Frank the Tank was screaming every time a base hit was hit by the Braves. And the only thing that kept me going was my Coors Light. So thank you, Coors Light. New York, choose chill, choose Coors Light, proud partner of the New York Mets. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/believe. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, fellas, we have come crashing back to earth, crashing back to reality. It's life as a baseball fan, but really, is this how it had to all go down, Kyle?
The first game is such a gut punch on such a night where we're out ahead. It's a game that's in hand, and you just I felt no nerves whatsoever. David Peterson was dealing, and I get Mendoza trying to push him into the 8th, but after that first walk, you got to give Reed Garrett a chance here. You're setting him up for failure by leaving him out there to face Acuna, who's hot. He's 8 home runs in 20-something games. What are we doing there? I don't question his managerial moves often. That was a mistake by him.
You just had to get Reed Garrett warmed up quicker. He should have been ready to start the inning just in case. It's just.
By the way, coming off a complete game, 9-inning, first time in his career, David Peterson, he's overworked. I get that he's locked in right now, but you're asking him to do something he's never done before in his career.
Yeah. That's one thing with Mendoza. Sometimes I feel like Mendoza, and listen, it is still June, long fucking season, but I feel like we're still in the testing out, figuring out what guys have, how far he can push guys, what he can get from guys if they're coming in at certain times. And a lot of times we get burnt by it. We had the Ryan Stanek replacement closer test, which is officially done. That is fucking done. That was the end of that was the Nationals, where the Nationals seem to just have his number too. So it might be a Nationals thing, but I'm done with Ryan Stanek being the number 2 on the closer list. And Reed Garrett, we said this last year, Phil. I think you were always Kyle, I think it was your thing. It was stop giving this guy inherited base runners. Yes. He's an absolute weapon this year. And this is one thing that separates the Mets and the Braves, and I feel like it still is the case. I feel like the Braves, they always are even though they've been kind of the big brother in this rivalry forever, if you want to call it a rivalry, they always have their best foot forward. They have their weapons lined up. They move their rotation, even though,
Chris Sale's on fucking 8 days rest. They prepared him for over a week to pitch last night.
It's crazy, man. And then we're still kind of just flying by the seat of our pants or seeing what works and what doesn't. And it's no, Peterson, 7 innings, great fucking start. In this world, it's a fucking complete game. Reed Garrett finished the 8th. Trumpets in the 9th, go home, 1-0 series, and we're fucking going from there. And instead, it's 0-2 and a goddamn disaster so far.
What are you even getting out of that? You're coming in off of an off day. It's not like you need to rest the bullpen. You have the game in hand. And Atlanta gets up for these games. It doesn't matter what their record is. And you know what? I like to see it out of Soto, too, because it seemed like he was this is an in-division rival. I'm going to become Juan Soto and just take over this ballgame. And that's what he did. But you can't just give away wins like that. And Francisco Alvarez, I'll let you get into it, Phil, but
Terren's also played bad last night too, but
Terren's great team player, spin zone. He's actually, Francisco Alvarez isn't that bad because I can't even catch a fucking baseball.
Alvarez, he doesn't pull the baseball anymore. I tweeted out his fucking spray chart yesterday. It's just stinky singles to right field. He hasn't pulled a home run since last September off Taijuan Walker.
I spent my entire morning arguing online about how he's overmatched, the game's moving too fast for him, and all I was met with was, he's recovering from a hand injury. If you're injured, you're there to hit home runs and drive in runners. You are not there to hit dinky singles. And by the way, he's had a bunch of multiple hit games which is the only reason why his on-base percentage and average is staying afloat. He's got on long stretches of not hitting the baseball.
He's slugging 320. Like,
Jeez.
it was started with a 2 last week. Like, he has 2 home runs. One of them was versus the Nats, like his first game, all the way back in like May. And the other one's at Coors Field, which is fake.
Ronnie Mauricio's been up for 40 at-bats. He has 2 home runs.
Yeah. I just don't get what happened to him.
Yeah. Now, all right. How much credence are we putting into the offseason? Met with JD Martinez and the external, hitting coach, and he's changed his philosophy and all that kind of stuff. Are we buying into that? Because
I do buy that. I want him to change it fucking back. Go back to what you were doing 2 years ago when you're 21 years old.
It really does seem like he's fishing for the baseball and just looking for contact. And then when he does try to turn it on, he can't anymore because he's not used to doing it, and he's getting blown away by fastballs.
Yeah. I mean, but then it's like when they're saying like when he's hitting good, then he's susceptible to this other stuff and the league's adjusting. But can I just get a couple of those pull home runs that Phil's talking about? And I can worry about those other problems when they pop up, because this is not working at all. It's just a 0.
And he's not even good defensively. He's one of the worst in the league at framing. I think he's 4th percentile in the league in framing, which is awful.
Which, by the way,
because he does that, it leads to wild pitches.
Yes. If you're gonna do that and you're gonna have your knee on the ground, you better be framing the pitches, because that's the entire reason why you're doing it.
Wasn't he good at framing at one point though?
Yeah.
Right. He was, right?
Yep.
I would literally send him to AAA and just have him rebuild confidence. There's no point just letting him get worse at the major league level. We're on a month of this now.
I said if he played any position other than catcher, he would have been disappeared forever ago. They sent down Mauricio with an injury, but they sent down Mauricio, they sent down Beatty, they sent down Vientos. There's been stretches where these guys are okay, they're too green, they need to go figure something out, but he can't because he's a catcher. You need the backup catcher, and I get that, but hell, bring up the guy who's bagging groceries from Whole Foods. It doesn't matter at that point, because Torrens is the clear-cut should-be starter.
I honestly, Francisco Alvarez versus Sanger, I honestly don't care at this point. It's the same guy in my mind, which isn't good. But
it sucks it's the same guy. Alvarez shouldn't be in a conversation with Torrens and the guy bagging groceries. You were the top prospect in baseball 4 years ago. How did we get here?
And to go a step further, he's 8-9 in the order. That first season, he hit 28 home runs, 25 home runs. We were oh, Pete's going to have so much protection. We got Vientos, Alvarez, all of these rookies, whatever you want to call them, first, second-year guys. It seems like all of them have regressed at the same exact time, and it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's tough right now. And when all the kids are doing that at the same time, and it just feels like we don't have any answers coming. Okay, so I don't know what's the last week, but a couple I think last week I had seen the last few weeks before that. So Kevin Parada is starting to hit down there. So Phil, can you talk me into that maybe?
I can't talk you into Kevin Parada. I can't talk you into any catcher in the system. I can talk you into pitchers in the system. I can talk to you about Nolan McLean. I can talk to you about Jonah Thong. I mean, we have some help there. They're not coming up anytime soon.
Is he actually hitting though, Parada? Because I saw he was under the Mendoza line.
He was batting 298 over a certain stretch, and you can kind of make everyone look good if you want to take certain.
I think 298 over a certain stretch. He's up. That got him up at 221.
Nice.
Double A?
Alvarez is we had the dozen. I went up, went off, checked the score, and then afterwards check the score again, and then go on Twitter. And Alvarez is. Remember, every year there's just the lightning rod who the fans go after. He has now become clear number one, and it's send his ass down. Francisco Alvarez, that's Frank's name for him. That's been established.
Listen, it's one thing if you're not hitting the baseball. Hitting the baseball is hard. He's 23 years old. You can't, with a runner on second base and a 55-foot pitch, try to fucking backhand it, and then turn around and then throw the ball to second base. The runner bailed you out, and then you make the wrong play completely. The other stuff with Gelb saying he called for the other pitch, and then
I don't care about that. Garrett can throw whatever pitch you want.
That is a battery situation where the pitcher just shakes him off. Doesn't matter. He wants to take responsibility for that. That's not the problem. The problem is that you're lazy, you're backhanding the baseball, you're making mental errors, and then also you're not hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Everything is bad.
Mauricio's time may be coming up soon with Vientos rehabbing. I think Mauricio's kind of been figured out. They just don't want to throw him fastballs, and he just chases everything, which we kind of knew. But like at the same time, it's like they did rush him up just because Vientos got injured. Like he did need more time in AAA. Like that, I don't care about.
Yep.
But we've had this with a lot of guys where you get the chatter, the people start going, why the fuck is he? He's batting 455 in the minors. Then you see it, and you're like, all right, go back down, work on what you got to work on. Hopefully everyone stays healthy up here, and it gives him the runway to come up, right? So I don't know, man. The Alvarez stuff, I feel like at some point they just got to send him down, though, right? Because we're not operating with the like comfort room we had even just a week ago, and you're losing divisional games, and we have fucking how many more? 8 more left in the next week.
Yeah, you got 3 at Philly and 4 versus the Braves.
Yeah, and then tonight against the Braves to wrap.
And by the way, the demeanor is totally different too. He was the guy who he was excited every single game. And I get it's a long season. He's just had a kid. There's a lot of stuff going on in his life. But like when you're up there and you are the guy who's struggling, at least you could fall back on the fact of like he loves to be there. He's a good energy guy.
Yeah.
He gets everybody else around him playing better. None of it's there. He's not bringing anything to the table at the moment.
And he was a 0 at the end of the season last year too.
Yeah.
Like once he got that first hit in the playoffs, it was like fucking having air for the first time in like an hour. It's like so he's been trending this way for a bit. It's not been smooth. This entire the Alvarez, I mean, you think about him when they call him up against Atlanta, right? And that fucking disaster. And then he's had his moments, but even then it's not like, oh, this is a future star. It's like, oh, he looks good. Let's see if he keeps it going. He's also a baby. 23 years old, 23-year-old catchers don't happen often, and he's up here doing it. But it's like, all right, we tried it. I think let's get him back maybe when he's 24 or later when he's closer to 24. Because
by no means do I think anybody should be saying we should be moving on from him.
No, that's not what the conversation's about.
Yes, it's more so he needs a kick in the ass. Like they sent him down on paternity leave, and then they brought him right back up, which is warranted for what? We needed him for the 2 games that he was gone for, whatever the case may be. Like, not really. He's not bringing that much to the table. He needs a reality check, and he needs to go down and break down the film. The game moves. The game is moving too fast for him, and then he's treading water the entire time. He can never stay above it.
yeah, it's tough. So, speaking of the Braves, I got a DM from Steve. He goes, something I noticed about our Mets I want to make you aware of. Those Rat Braves have an off day scheduled in the middle of a homestand. They actually have 4 of them over the course of the year, but the Mets only have 1. And naturally, both times the Mets go to Atlanta, they have an off day in the middle of a homestand. So let's throw that one into the Buster only fucking conspiracy theories. I can see Phil's like slowly like ready to fucking explode inside her.
And also, the Braves just don't believe in day games when we play them. That's the only reason we won last year in game 161 because it was during the day.
That's right. I forgot about
The fucking Satan doesn't exist during the day. That's what happens, I guess.
I
Why
saw
do
Phil.
they play it night to night?
They just love fucking. They love fucking us. That's all.
I feel like every Thursday it's not the case. Yeah.
They're vampires. They don't die, and they only can come out at night. So they know their fucking weakness. So I almost respect that in that sense. I saw Phil at a tweet. He's like, the Mets have only won 1 big game in Atlanta my entire life, and it was like an act of God to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we've lost the season series versus them every year since 2017 when they were in rebuild mode. Like literally pre-Acuna. That's how far back you got to go.
Right.
Till we won a season series.
It's closing in on a decade when you start just doing the basic math of it all. So yeah, the House of Horrors in Atlanta continues. We kind of knew this could happen. I didn't think it would happen. Juan Soto hitting a home run was a very nice, like, all right.
Tyrone Taylor, 3 RBIs, just forgotten about.
By the way, man, that man just has some pride. That ball was crushed. I cannot believe he caught that at the warning track for the sac fly win. But some people just, they don't let off the gas, and I was so happy to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Has that dog in him, as they say, right? Like
The other thing
he's
is-
gonna keep going.
Brett Beatty's may be like lingering on an IL stint. I don't know who they'd even call up from AAA because we really don't have anybody on the 40-man roster to call up. So
We do have.
They can move Acuna to second, McNeil to third, or vice versa.
Ooh, the Jeff
Yeah,
McNeil
at
third.
least he's like a spark plug guy. Like, he's not hitting either. He's kind of the odd man out. I don't even think about him when I'm like, oh, he's not bringing like production to the team because you're just like he's a bench guy. Last night, you can't be mad at Sale just absolutely decimating them. Like, he's a Cy Young pitcher.
No, last night's game, you also went into it. It's like, okay, Blackburn Sale. It's like, this isn't a game we're going to win.
He is not a starter.
Like,
And we don't have any starters because Frankie Montas is down there getting his dick kicked in. I'm like,
I
Jesus.
don't care that much about his rehab starts. And it's also like he's replacing Tyler McGill, who had an ERA of 6
Right.
over May. So it's not like you're replacing a guy that's lighting it up.
Montas is
Anderson,
more so a name than anything else. Anyway, every time I see his numbers, I'm like, he's not really that good. Even when we signed him, I'm like, all right, like he's the kind of like bottom of the rotation guy.
He also didn't have a spring training, so it's
Right.
like I can't take those rehab numbers too seriously. It's like, what is he going to do at the major league level? Once I see that, then I'll be like, okay, then he just sucks.
Yeah.
Losing Senga in the middle of this is also just fucking like he's out, I'd imagine, through the rest of the first half.
And on such a preventable play. Now, whether or not he felt that hamstring, tighten up on the tough dugout, or he was just being a good teammate to Pete, I don't
Clearly
know.
being a good teammate. Let me just say it.
Let's just say it. Okay. And even though like it's still like with hamstrings, 1 to 2 weeks, 2 to 4, whatever the fuck it is, it's then the hamstring getting hurt again is what you don't worry about. That's one of those things that could just pop up left and right.
They just continue to tighten up on you. Which
I think it was the right?
Yeah. And in my mind, I'm not expecting him till July 18th, probably.
That's worse because he's got to push off.
So that's a month because we're on June 19th right now.
Yeah, he's straight to June 12th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 5 weeks, July 18th.
And at this rate with Senga, are we just saying like you're not allowed to leave the mound? Like you just have to like just stay on the rubber essentially and don't
stay on the mound till the inning's over.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the injury last year?
Calf.
Okay.
He Aaron Rodgers himself.
Yeah, he said during the offseason too, like his whole focus was strengthening his legs for that exact reason. And then for that to happen.
Yeah, that's tough. And again, if Pete could just throw a decent ball to first, I thought Pete was going to spiral after that too, man, because he was not in a good place. But
he's like on the path to be like Rutabaga.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned Tyler McGill. The elevator finally ate the kid. Hopefully, it's not too bad for Tyler's sake. But elbow injuries are never fun. It just feels like, again, this feels like it was preventable as well for like 4 fucking years. As every day we come on this podcast and go, please take this man out of the rotation. He is not built to be a starter.
The predictable Tyler McGill experience where, he enters the starting rotation because someone gets injured in spring. He has an amazing April, ERA under 2. May hits, now the ERA's at 6. And now it's June, he's injured. It's wild how this happens every fucking year, and we keep doing it.
Cycle of Tyler McGill.
It's the same exact cycle. It's so predictable.
The definition of insanity is saying the definition of insanity when then making your argument and saying it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. But that's us as Mets fans. So it is what it is. Is there anything else in terms of injuries right now? Any guys coming back? So Vientos is like rehabbing right now, right?
Yeah, maybe he's back this weekend. Maybe it's next week versus the Braves, but like he's rehabbing in Syracuse.
He's rehabbing in Syracuse. Okay.
They're going to bring him back for Philly if I had to guess. Just because we
and
need
then
something.
Tomorrow they say Justin Hageman's going to be the bulk pitcher, which, I mean, he pitched well back in April. He's pitching well in Syracuse. Maybe that's Stearns' magic that comes through. Although they are facing Zach Wheeler, so you pretty much need to only give up 1 or 2 runs to have a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Zach Wheeler. There was a whole thing about PC. I was talking to some Cubs fans about PCA, and they're, and I'm like, listen, guys, that was like 7 GMs ago. That guy was the same guy who saw Zach Wheeler was a piece of shit and let him go to a division rival.
No, that was actually a different GM.
Oh, it was a different GM? Oh, my God.
That was Brody.
Zach Wheeler was perennially hurt for us, though. Like, he had one little stretch where he was good, and he went and got that huge contract from it. I didn't think he was going to – I thought he was going to be on the Tyler McGill life cycle of, like, he's just going to get hurt every year because he throws too hard.
He basically had 2 good halves. That was the thing, right? That was was that a Brody line, though?
That was the Brody line. 2 good halves.
Yeah.
That's why then he basically said he's going to retire at age 37 because he didn't want to play baseball after that.
Good for him. Family man.
I like that.
Get out of my division.
I'm very
Get out of the league. Don't need to see you anymore.
Well, if you you know what, this is going to be a rough little go of it here. We have at Atlanta, then at Philly, but once they come home, I'm expecting the Mets fans to greet their team They're going to greet their team with open arms on Monday when they come home, June 23rd. I'm going to get my tickets. I'm going to greet them myself, and I'm going to go on Game Time. Baseball is back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to Game Time. Plus, the Game Time Picks feature makes it even easier to find the great deals you want. Just pull up your chosen event and turn on the GT Pick setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. So I was looking at Mets Braves here for June 23rd, and I saw an amazing deal. I got the Caesars box, which is, it's fancy seats right there. Section 306, row 10, $33. $33 to get those seats. Great view of the field on the first base side. And you're gonna have your Mets Braves. I'm sure the Braves will be like bringing Chipper Jones out of retirement or whatever they can do to win the game, because they treat these things like must wins, while we just treat them like spring training games. So we should have all the juice in the stadium for it, even on a Monday night. So you can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jacks. So what are you waiting for? I'm going to buy my Mets Braves tickets now with Game Time Picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BELIEVE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. So who we got going tonight on Thursday?
Clay Holmes versus Strider. We hit Strider. Like,
we do hit Strider.
If we were going into the series, I was like, okay, this is a game we should be able to win. Like, Tuesday and tonight were the games I was like, okay, we have a chance of winning. Wednesday, I was like, no, there's no chance.
Yeah.
And when you're down 3-0 in the first on the Sale Blackburn day, you're like, let's just pack it up, boys. Let's just start throwing position players.
Listen, Strider struggled this year, 1-5, ERA over 4. Like, his velocity's not there anymore. Like, we should be able to hit him.
They need to win this game.
Yeah.
Five in a row we've lost. You don't want it to continue to compile, but then you have to take on the Phillies, who are an actually good baseball team. Like, Atlanta hasn't been playing up to their potential, whatever you want to call it, whatever. They're always the Atlanta Braves. The Phillies are going to make our lives hell all season long. We're going to be looking in the rear view, or who knows, for a pole position. They need to turn it around now.
Like, am I worried about the Braves catching us? Like, no. Like, they're 11 back. Like, obviously, yes, they can get hot. They can do a devil magic again. That's not what I'm super worried about with them. I'm worried about them getting hot and then sneaking into a wild card spot. And then later on, you have to worry about them in a playoff series.
That's fair. So home Strider tonight. Then I'm looking ahead. So we got the Phillies, obviously, over the weekend in Philadelphia, which is another. There's a few ballparks I just hate. I hate playing the bandboxes because there's no lead safe and it doesn't feel like real baseball. Who did they call up? I saw they announced the kid they're calling up from the minors. Who was it, Phil?
Wait, who?
The guy the Mets are calling up for Friday's game.
Hageman.
How's he been this year?
He's pitched well in AAA. And like I said, he pitched pretty well in a spot start in April versus the Twins.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe it's Stearns magic, but who knows?
Yeah, and it's in Philly. It's tough. Now, Harper's out. I don't know. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon because I have him in fantasy. I saw he's fucked up, man. They're saying they're still not doing hitting drills and stuff like that last I checked. So I don't know how long he's out for. But they're winning without him. That's the thing about it. Like, the Phillies have kind of righted the ship a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that fucking sucks. How much are we up on them now? I don't even know if they won.
Only a game.
Yeah.
So that series, we have Hageman Wheeler on Friday. Canning, McAble, who I just looked up, has a 2.2 ERA.
He's their top pitching prospect.
Awesome.
All these games also on national TV, Apple TV, Fox, ESPN. So it's another one of those weekends.
Is a killer. Fox and then ESPN. We were talking about doing one of those playback where we stream with the game. And Kevin hit me up, was like, we should do this one. I said, sure. But I don't know if we have the time to really get it set up. But I would like to do it during either a Fox or an ESPN game because I'd rather do that than, with Gary Keith and Ron. Canning Abel. I mean, at this point, Griffin Canning, the regression monster, has definitely eaten him up a bit. And then Sunday night, our fucking like this is our Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. David Peterson's
our ace. Like you can always rely on him.
Yeah,
he is our drop of water in a desert right now. I just see that name and I'm like, thank God you're here. Especially against you have the lefties against the Phillies, so having a lefty, and then they have Luzardo going, who I knew he had like those 2 starts where he like set records for how pitiful he was, but a 4.41 ERA is wild. Now I'm sure a lot of that is from those starts that really
it's only from those exact 2 starts.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
He gave a 4 against the Marlins last time too in 5 innings, which is interesting. But yeah, he's. I still don't feel good facing him. I'm not happy that again their rotation just happens to work out right in their favor. Right, that does not feel good right now. Anything on the Phillies, Phil? You have any takes on the Phillies right now on where they are?
I mean, they're a good team. Like they're going to be there all year. There's really nothing really to say. Like they don't have Harper, but they're going to find a way. Like we're facing Schwarber in June. He'll probably hit a home run. Trey's heating up a bit. Like, do you think Jeff D'Lo like looks at the Mets schedule and sees like, okay, where are the Mets playing the Braves? I'm gonna put the dozen right there. Because like that's the one good thing about the week where Frank's in Chicago. Not good for you, but at least for me.
Yeah, I had to talk with Jeff about that and asked him to stop. And like I'm with Frank the Tank Enterprises. Mikey Betts is out here. Obviously I think Jenks is still in New York. So I'm talking to his handlers, and they're not happy about this because dozen week and then Braves weeks should never go hand in hand. And if
Frank will be Frank at all times, but like the Braves is another level. Like, how about just pick a Nats series?
Yeah.
Like,
yes. And then you're asking the Mets to do Mets stuff against the Braves. So you're almost like they're making Frank do this against his will because they're going to do something stupid or lose a game in a horrific fashion. And then if Frank beats us, Team ZD tonight, they then go to Boston, guess who the Mets are playing on Thursday night? And we're Boston, the Atlanta Braves. So is Jeff D'Lo doing the chop as he does the gritty with Blooper? I don't know. It might be going on. Oh my God, this is so stupid. So and then
for the match tonight,
what'd you say? Are
you feeling confident for your match tonight?
I don't know, man. It's a make or miss league. Like you just you know it or you don't. I don't know. I got a little shook because I got a couple questions wrong that people were. I don't know actors in The Boys. I love the show The Boys. I just
don't know man, I was watching it. I was like, as soon as he said Keith Urban, I'm like, oh, he's got this, and I'm like, oh.
I don't know actors' names in that show in particular. And then Dave was so confident. He's never confident about answering. He felt great about Outer Banks. I'm like, sold, dude. You got your answer, and did not happen. I almost feel less confident though because I do feel like Frank live at a show in Boston as the Mets are playing the Braves. Last game of this little stretch is made for a Jeff D'Lo, like, oh, fuck, what did I just get myself into? So I actually feel less confident about that because of how that's all panning out. So we got the Phillies and then the Braves again next week, which will lead us into next week's show. As of now, Blackburn, Sale, Holmes, Strider, I guess another TBD versus Elder and Canning versus Holmes. All night games as well. So we're playing all night games until we get the Pirates in town after this is all said and done. So I don't know, man. This is just not great times. That's kind of the headline of the episode.
Yep, and people are turning on the June swoon. We are no longer getting the little hype from our June bumps from last year. People are pissed online. We're not going to get into it, but people are not happy with what's going on. And
we have to get a little gayer.
Yep. It just got too gay, and now people aren't happy about it. It's like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's tough. I actually had a mailbag. I wrote this mailbag down. It was a DM from Tim last week, and it was right after our episode, and we're fucking popping off fireworks, having the time of our life. And he goes, "Do you think the good pitching can continue?" Because I mean, that's the thing. It's like we've all, even in the good times, it always does feel like it's a little bit of fool's gold, or you're going the right angles. Even though I do believe in the Stearns and the pitching lab, I think the answer on that is probably not. And if so, everyone's just going to get hurt, right? Is that kind of what we're thinking right now, fellas?
Yep.
It doesn't seem like anybody's too overworked, but it also feels like they were just playing at such a high level that made no sense for their career numbers, that it's like, we need some help. We need to get people back. We need Sean Manaea. where you at, my man? Like, what the hell's going on with that? I thought he was going to be back by now.
Yeah.
Any updates?
I think he's had a rehab start. I think like Monday or Sunday or something.
He's closer than Montas, no?
No. Montas started before him.
Okay.
He may be like a turn after Montas.
He might be pitching before Montas. Montas's numbers, they fuck me up so good because I'll see it and I'll see 1.0 and 8.0. I'm like, oh, 8 innings pitch, 1 earned. And it's 1 inning pitch, 8 earned. And I'm just like, oh, no, that's not good at all. It's crazy his numbers. Like you said, Phil, like I'll give him some leeway here, as it's no spring training and stuff. But we need somebody. And I do you think we could see any of the young guys? You think they would?
McLean's probably the most major league ready of the group. Maybe they just don't want to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
But like you have to pull that trigger at some point. Tong is in Double A. I don't think you see that trigger get pulled.
He's 21, putting up those numbers. I don't know if they need to, like, the book's just not out on him yet, and that's why he's dominating. But like, he looks good.
He looks real good.
Like, I mean,
they both look good.
Sproat's not really like progressing as they thought they would. Tidwell is blah.
Yeah.
Like,
we do have a lot of good names, and we have names that we know, which means that they're doing well.
Yeah, and like Blake Tidwell was such a cool name. Sproko, I thought, was such a nickname potential for us. And both of those guys have kind of just, like you said, there was the thing where like the worst start we had of the season was the Tidwell start,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is no longer the case, unfortunately. We're getting a bunch of these, and they're coming in flurries. Like, if we're getting 6 innings, no runs, those 6 innings, then it's becoming 4 innings, 5 runs. We need kind of just to meet the midpoint, like 5 innings, 2 or 3 runs. Offense is more awake than it's been at some points, and then we're in the game, and then you rely on the bullpen to get the job done. But it's like, it's also a managerial thing. I love Mendoza, but there are some decisions that I second guess in live time, and it comes to fruition a lot more times than not, unfortunately.
You can be a good guy, but when you're trying to like push the envelope for no reason at all, it just doesn't make sense, especially when it's like these types of games where 1, we're on a losing streak, 2, we're going against a division rival. Like, just take the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take the W and just, especially on the road too. Get your as many wins as you can. Get back home where you were invincible. Did we even touch on the Rays series? I mean, I have nothing to say about that.
I don't care about the Rays series. They're the fucking Rays. Like,
Yeah.
we never beat the Rays. Like,
Games that could have gone another way.
the first game, I was like, okay, maybe they probably should have won that, and then they just imploded.
Yep.
The next 2, I'm like, I don't care. Like, they're the Rays. At least they're catching up to the Yankees. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's the Yankees. I mean,
The Yankees are slumping just as bad as us. They've
It's
lost
hard.
6 in a row now.
I saw people are like, in case you're wondering why the Yankees fans in your lives are not mocking Juan Soto anymore, and they just showed like all their guys struggling, and I was like, oh shit.
See, they're kind of like, it was their offensive production that all those players were playing above their career numbers, and now they're all coming back to earth, and it's like, oh damn, we just have Judge and Goldschmidt.
And then Judge goes into a 2 for 23 slump. His average falls to like 368 or something.
Is that really what it's at now?
It was like 370 after his first at bat last night.
Baseball numbers are nuts, man. The way it always.
No, that's why like you can't like get that crazy over the numbers. Like all it takes is one slump, and it's like, oh well, this is not that good anymore.
Well, that's their fucking problem. And I actually like, I'm happy for the Rays. I saw they're getting sold to a Jacksonville fucking like home builder is leading the charge, at least in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Orlando. I don't know if they get up in Jacksonville, but it sounds like Orlando has put together everything to get a team. It would just be nice. And, if we have to face the Rays a couple times, but it's like the Rays have been such a joke forever, even though they've actually been competitive a lot of years with like their cheapskate fucking way of managing things. It would be nice to have like, oh, your division has a full fucking league of teams instead of just like one joke of a franchise.
That field mock-up looks sick too.
Sick.
And like put it in Orlando, and then it's like, yeah, you're not going to have the diehard Rays fans, but you're going to get a packed house every night because people are going to go to all the parks and then want to go watch a baseball game if they're not doing that.
Yeah, I would have sure as hell taken the kids when we went if there was a team there. So I'm sure there'll be plenty. That probably concludes our Rays talk for the next 5 years, unless they're playing the Mets. So we don't have to. I can tell Phil is like, I got no fucking time for the Rays in my life right now.
What do we think about Clemmer saying that he'd drop the Mets and pick up an expansion league team?
That boggles my mind.
If he said that during the Wilpons era, I would be like, you know what? I don't blame you. We just signed Juan Soto. Like, Steve Cohen's here. Like, if an expansion team comes like 2 years, you're like, I'm leaving this. It's like, it'd be the dumbest decision.
That's a perennial loser move. If you leave the team
that's like, up. He was like, it's always been a dream of mine. It's like people dream of being a doctor or other things. He's like, I dream of being a fan of an expansion team.
He's one of a kind, that kid. I fucking love him. I agree with you, Phil. You do that during the Wilpons era. Once Cohen's here, it's like you're rooting for a new team now. You're rooting for the New York Mets now. You're rooting for an actual franchise.
Like if a Pirates fan said that, you're not, no questions asked. Like you let a Pirates fan go root for the Nashville Sounders or something. Like,
yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to think. Well, there's going to be basketball expansion. I don't think he'd leave the Celtics, but I feel like
he said it'd only be baseball.
I understand he's a baseball guy too, but he's a baseball guy, so I understand that. It's crazy to me. Don't get me wrong. It's crazy to me. He should do it for football with the Jets, but they're not going to expand for football, I don't think, for a little bit. And then he'd be rooting for like a Germany team or something.
I was going to say he'd be the team in London to get the expansion.
God.
Bought the team for a song, by the way, because now the Lakers are valued at $10 billion. Not that the Mets were like some crown jewel of baseball when he bought them, but like that's crazy.
Cohen's gonna be like the blueprint too of because when he gets to Cohen World and the casino and all that stuff, it's like, and if God willing they win, but it's like he not only did he turn him around, he got absolute bank by doing it like the right way for the most part. He was a little rash when he first came in, but every guy is. And the fact that none of those decisions are burning us like a lot, like the fucking Phoenix Suns fans can tell you right now, right? Bradley Beal. This could be a lot worse. I'm pretty happy. I will never leave this team. I can make that. You guys, we Mets fans for life on this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Clever's banned for life if he ever fucking leaves the Mets, obviously. That's a promise from me to you, which is probably good because him and Phil are going to probably fight each other rough and rowdy at some point based on their Pick Central dealings.
We're going to fight on the basketball court July 28th.
That's right.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome, dude. I have to.
You're gonna wear like a suit and like the little fedora hat.
I have the suit ready to go.
Nice.
I'm not gonna wear a hat because basketball coaches don't wear hats.
That's more football. You're right.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Dave was gonna wear a like jumpsuits. I feel like are the new way, and he's like, "No, I'm going. I think he's going suit." So
yeah,
it's gonna be
business,
all business in New York, like the old Pat Riley when New York was great back in the day. Anything else for these goddamn assholes as they just ruined our week for the last week? Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on? Because I got nothing else. That was the end of it there. In Philly and then Braves at home after whatever they do to us tonight.
I just want to win. Just a win to stop the bleeding. A win to feel good about something.
That's it.
I like that. Well, that's our rallying cry. So whether you're a Mets fan or a fucking fan of a future expansion team to be named, gotta believe.
Gotta believe.